Everyone in Seoul knew one name: Joon Seo-Hyun, a billionaire, the youngest chairman in the country, the man newspapers called the Cold King. He built an empire before turning 35. He never smiled, never attended parties, never dated, never gave interviews. People feared disappointing him. Employees whispered whenever his elevator doors opened, but no one knew the truth. Every night, when he returned to his enormous mansion, he removed his expensive watch, loosened his tie, walked into a quiet bedroom, and sat beside a framed photograph. A woman smiled back at him from the picture, his late wife. She had died 4 years earlier after a sudden illness. Since then, he had lived only for two things: his company and his son. Unfortunately, he was failing at the second one. A soft voice came from the doorway. A little boy wearing dinosaur pajamas rubbed his sleepy eyes. His name was Eli. 8 years old, curious, funny, far wiser than most adults. I waited for dinner. Seo-Hyun looked at the untouched food on the table. It was nearly midnight. I'm sorry. I had meetings. You said that yesterday, and the day before, and last week. Seo-Hyun had no answer. He simply knelt down. I'm trying to build your future. Eli looked at him quietly. I don't want a bigger future. I just want more time with my dad. Those words hit harder than any business failure. But before Seo-Hyun could respond, his phone rang. Another emergency meeting, another investor, another crisis. He kissed Eli's forehead. I'll make it up to you. Then he left again. Eli watched the front door close. The mansion became silent. Han gently placed a blanket around his shoulders. He loves you very much. Eli nodded. I know. Then why is he always lonely? Mrs. Han looked surprised. What do you mean? My dad laughs whenever he watches videos of Mom. He smiles whenever he talks about her. But when she's gone, his eyes become empty. The old woman couldn't answer. After a long silence, Eli whispered something that changed everything. My dad doesn't need another company. He needs someone to love again. The next morning, Eli packed a tiny backpack. Inside, a notebook, colored pencils, a juice box, and one photograph. It was the only picture he had of his parents smiling together. He looked at it carefully. If I can find someone who makes Daddy smile like this again, our family can be happy. There was just one small problem. His father had bodyguards everywhere. Eli had spent years watching them. He knew exactly when they changed shifts, exactly which cameras had blind spots, exactly which delivery entrance was never locked before 9 o'clock. 10 minutes later, a tiny boy wearing an oversized janitor's uniform pushed a cleaning cart into his father's headquarters. No one noticed him. Adults rarely notice children, especially when they're dressed like workers. Perfect. Mission: find a wife for Dad. Rule number 1: pretty wasn't enough. Rule number 2: rich didn't matter. Rule number 3: she had to be kind when nobody was watching. His first interview lasted 30 seconds. A fashionable woman yelled at a receptionist. Rejected. The second candidate ignored an elderly security guard struggling with boxes. Rejected. The third secretly mocked another employee. Rejected. Eli crossed another name off his notebook. This is harder than I thought. Then, something unexpected happened. A loud crash echoed through the employee cafeteria. Coffee spilled everywhere. People groaned. Several workers simply walked around the mess. But one woman immediately knelt down. Are you okay? She helped the trembling cleaner to her feet. It's only coffee. Don't cry. We'll clean it together. She smiled so warmly. Even the frightened cleaner started smiling. Eli stared without blinking. The woman wasn't trying to impress anyone. Nobody important was watching. She simply chose kindness. Interesting. Very interesting. He slowly opened his notebook and wrote one name. Zuri Adeyemi. New employee. Marketing department. African. Beautiful smile. Kind heart. Possible mommy candidate. He had no idea that in less than 1 hour, she would accidentally walk into his father's office and turn the cold king of Seoul's perfectly controlled life completely upside down. He looked up again. She was still helping the elderly cleaner wipe coffee off the floor. "You really don't have to help me, Miss Zuri," the cleaner said, embarrassed. Zuri smiled. "My grandmother always said that kindness isn't something you schedule, it's something you choose." The cleaner's eyes became watery. "Thank you." Eli secretly gave her another point. "Loves elderly people. Excellent." As Zuri stood up, she noticed the tiny janitor staring at her. She laughed softly. "Well, hello there. Were you inspecting my cleaning skills?" Eli almost panicked. "No. Maybe." Zuri chuckled. "That's fair." She reached into her lunch bag and pulled out a chocolate chip cookie. "I baked too many this morning. Would you like one?" Eli blinked. "You made these yourself?" "I did. My neighbors say they're dangerous. People keep asking for more." Eli accepted the cookie with both hands. It was warm, soft, and somehow tasted exactly like happiness. His eyes widened. "You look surprised," Zuri teased. "It's the best cookie I've ever eaten." She smiled proudly. "I'll take that as a compliment." Eli quickly wrote another note. "Can cook. Very important." Just then, a loud voice interrupted them. "Miss Adeyemi." A sharply dressed manager stormed into the cafeteria. "There you are. The chairman's presentation files are missing. I need someone to take these revised documents to the executive floor immediately." Zuri looked confused. "Today is my first week. I've never even been upstairs. Neither has anyone else from your department." The manager sighed impatiently. "Everyone else is busy. Please." She nodded politely. "Of course." As she walked away carrying the folder, Eli's eyes sparkled. This was perfect. If she was going upstairs, she was going to meet Daddy. His mission was working faster than expected. Without thinking, he quietly followed her. Neither of them noticed another pair of eyes watching from the hallway. Mrs. Han, the family housekeeper. She had come to deliver homemade soup for Chairman Seo-Hyun. The moment she saw Eli in a janitor's uniform, her jaw nearly dropped. "Oh no," she whispered. "Young master, what are you doing now?" Before she could stop him, the elevator doors closed, going straight to the executive floor. The top floor was unlike the rest of the building. The carpets were thicker. The hallways were silent. Even the air felt expensive. Zuri took a deep breath. "Okay, just deliver the files. Smile. And don't embarrass yourself." She knocked gently. A voice answered immediately. "Come in." She pushed the door open. The office was enormous. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the entire city. Bookshelves stretched across one wall. Modern artwork decorated another. Behind a sleek black desk sat Chairman Joon Seo-Hyun. He didn't look up. "Leave the documents." His eyes remained fixed on his laptop. Zuri placed the folder neatly on his desk. "The revised presentation, sir." No response. She turned to leave. Then, she noticed something strange. A framed family photograph had fallen face down beside the bookshelf. The glass had cracked. She glanced at the chairman. He was too focused on his meeting notes to notice. Quietly, she walked over, picked up the photograph carefully, wiped away the dust with her handkerchief, and placed it safely back on the shelf. She smiled at the picture for a second. "What a beautiful family," she whispered it so softly. She didn't think anyone heard. But Seo-Hyun did. His fingers froze above the keyboard. Slowly, for the first time since she entered, he looked up. Their eyes met. For one brief moment, neither of them spoke. There was something different about her. She hadn't touched the photograph because it belonged to the chairman. She touched it because she respected someone's memories. "Thank you," he said quietly. Zuri blinked. "For what, sir?" "The photograph." She smiled gently. "It looked important." "It is." There was another long silence. Then she bowed politely. "I hope you have a good day, Chairman." She turned and walked out. The office became quiet again. Seo-Hyun stared at the closed door, longer than he expected. He didn't even know her name. Yet somehow, the room felt less empty after she left. Eli had watched everything through the small glass panel beside the office door. He pumped his tiny fist into the air. Yes! Daddy talked to her. Mission progress. Just as he celebrated, A deep voice echoed behind him. Eli. The little boy froze. Slowly, he turned around. Standing at the end of the hallway were 6 security guards. Mrs. Han, the company secretary, and in the middle of them, Chairman Joon Seo-Hyun himself. His arms were folded. His expression was impossible to read. Eli, he repeated calmly, would you like to explain why my missing son is dressed as a janitor? Eli swallowed hard. His secret mission had just come to an end, or so he thought. Because hidden inside his tiny backpack was the notebook containing the names of every woman he had interviewed, including the one at the very top, Zuri Adeyemi. And if his father opened that notebook, nothing in either of their lives would ever be the same again. Eli's heart pounded so loudly, he was sure everyone could hear it. The hallway fell completely silent. His father stood only a few feet away, hands in his pockets, face unreadable. The security guards waited for an order. No one dared to move. Eli. Chairman Joon Seo-Hyun spoke calmly. Come here. The little boy slowly walked toward him, his oversized janitor's cap slipping over his eyes. Seo-Hyun crouched down and gently adjusted the cap. What were you thinking? Eli looked down at his shoes. I just wanted to help. Help with what? Before Eli could answer, the security chief stepped forward holding a tiny backpack. Sir, we found this. Eli's eyes grew wide. No, he reached for it, but it was too late. Seo-Hyun accepted the backpack. He unzipped it. Inside, a juice box, colored pencils, a few cookies, and a small blue notebook. Eli held his breath. Please don't open it. Please. Seo-Hyun flipped open the first page. His eyebrows slowly pulled together. The page was filled with handwritten names. Each one had a score beside it. Candidate number 1, too rude to waiters, rejected. Candidate number 2, doesn't like children, rejected. Candidate number 3, talks badly about people, rejected. Page after page, different women, different notes, different scores. The hallway became so quiet that even the security guards leaned closer. Then, Seo-Hyun reached the final page. At the top, written in large, careful letters, Candidate number 17, Zuri Adeyemi. Below it, Eli had written, she helped someone when nobody was watching. She shares her food. She respects old people. She smiles with her eyes. Then, at the very bottom, in shaky handwriting, I think mommy would like her. Everything stopped. Seo-Hyun stared at those last 6 words. His breathing became uneven. For the first time in years, the memory of his late wife rushed back with painful clarity. He remembered her laughter, her kindness, the way she always said, the right person is the one who's kind when nobody is looking. Those had been her exact words. Seo-Hyun slowly closed the notebook. He looked at his son. You've been doing all this to find me a wife? Eli nodded nervously. I don't want a new mommy because I forgot mom. I want one because I don't want you to be lonely anymore. The chairman's eyes softened. For several long seconds, he couldn't speak. Then, to everyone's surprise, he pulled Eli into a tight hug. The security guards exchanged shocked glances. None of them had ever seen the chairman hug anyone at work. I'm sorry, Seo-Hyun whispered. So sorry. Eli wrapped his tiny arms around his father. I miss you. I know, I miss you too. Even Mrs. Han quietly wiped away a tear. Meanwhile, completely unaware of what had happened, Zuri was organizing documents in the marketing department. She had barely sat down when her phone buzzed. It was a message from Human Resources. The chairman has requested your presence in the executive conference room at 3 p.m. She froze. The chairman? Her coworker gasped. What did you do? I don't know. Another employee whispered. Nobody gets called by the chairman during their first week. Oh no, you must be in trouble. Zuri's stomach tightened. She replayed the morning over and over in her mind. Did she file something incorrectly? Did she speak out of turn? Did she accidentally break some company rule? By 3 o'clock, she was standing outside the executive conference room. Her palms were sweaty. She knocked gently. Come in. She stepped inside. The room was enormous. At the far end sat Chairman Seo-Hyun. Beside him was Eli. The little boy instantly smiled the moment he saw her. Zuri blinked. It was the tiny janitor. He wasn't wearing a janitor's uniform anymore. He was dressed in an expensive navy suit. Confused, she looked from the boy to the chairman, then back again. Eli gave her a small, guilty wave. "Hi," Zuri frowned. "What is happening?" Seo-Hyun stood. "This," he looked at his son before letting out the smallest sigh, "is my son." Silence. Zuri's eyes became as wide as saucers. "Your son? Son?" Eli slowly hid behind his father. "I'm sorry. I wasn't really a janitor. I borrowed the uniform. He hesitated. "Wanted to know what kind of person you were." Zuri blinked once, twice. Then she looked at the chairman, then back at Eli. For a full 5 seconds, no one spoke. Finally, Zuri crossed her arms. "So, the 8-year-old interviewed me, without telling me. And now, the chairman is explaining it." Eli slowly nodded. "Yes." A long silence filled the room. Then, to both of their surprise, Zuri burst into laughter. Real laughter. The kind that made tears gather in her eyes. "I knew something about you was unusual." She looked at Eli. "I've never failed an interview conducted by a child before." Eli smiled. "You didn't fail. You got the highest score." The smile disappeared from Zuri's face. "The highest score?" Eli nodded proudly. "You came first." Chairman Seo-Hyun immediately closed his eyes. He already knew. His son's next sentence was going to change everything. Eli looked directly at Zuri. His innocent voice echoed across the room. "So, will you go on one dinner date with my dad?" The room fell into complete silence. Seo-Hyun nearly choked on his own breath. Zuri stood frozen. Neither of them knew how to respond, and Eli simply waited, certain that this was the easiest question in the world. Eli looked from his father to Zuri, waiting patiently for an answer. "So," he asked again, "will you have dinner with my dad?" Chairman Joon Seo-Hyun wanted the floor to open and swallow him whole. For the first time in years, the powerful billionaire had absolutely no idea what to say. He cleared his throat. "Eli, I think that's enough." "But Dad..." "No." His voice wasn't angry. It was simply embarrassed. "You've already caused Miss Adeyemi enough trouble." Eli lowered his head. "Oh, I'm sorry." Zuri looked at the little boy. His cheerful face had disappeared. He looked as though he had just broken something precious. She smiled gently. "I don't think your question was rude." Seo-Hyun looked at her in surprise. "It wasn't?" She shook her head. "It was honest." She turned to Eli. "But there's something you should know. You can't choose a wife for your father. That's a decision 2 adults have to make together." Eli thought about her words, then nodded slowly. "I understand." "But," he tilted his head, "can I at least choose who deserves a chance?" Neither adult knew how to answer that. Finally, they all laughed, even Seo-Hyun. It wasn't a loud laugh. It lasted barely 2 seconds, but it was real. Eli's eyes became as wide as the moon. "Dad, you laughed." Seo-Hyun immediately became serious again. "I did not." "You did." Mrs. Han, who had quietly entered with tea, covered her mouth to hide a smile. "It's true, Chairman. I heard it too." Seo-Hyun sighed. "I seemed to be surrounded." The atmosphere in the room softened. For the first time, it felt less like a chairman's office and more like a family sitting together. Later that afternoon, Seo-Hyun personally walked Zuri to the elevator. "I'm sorry about today. There really isn't a company policy for situations like this." Zuri laughed. "I'd be surprised if there were." They stood in awkward silence. Then Seo-Hyun spoke again. "Eli has been through a lot. He lost his mother when he was 4. He smiles often, but he still carries that loss." Zuri nodded quietly. "I can tell. He loves you very much." Seo-Hyun looked down. "I hope he still does." "He does. He just misses you." Those 4 words landed heavily. The elevator doors opened. Before stepping inside, Zuri turned back. LP. I think you're trying your best. But children don't measure love by success. They measure it by time." The doors slowly closed. Seo-Hyun stood there, long after the elevator disappeared. Her words echoed in his mind. Children don't measure love by success. They measure it by time. Tax. That evening, something unusual happened at the mansion. At exactly 6 o'clock, Seo-Hyun walked through the front door. Not midnight, not 10 o'clock. 6. The staff stared in disbelief. Mrs. Han nearly dropped the tray she was carrying. Chairman? Everything all right? He removed his jacket. Where's Eli? In the garden. Seo-Hyun walked outside. There. Eli was sitting beneath a tree, drawing in his notebook. Dad? The little boy looked up in surprise. You're home. I am. So early? Seo-Hyun smiled faintly. I canceled my evening meetings. What? I thought we could have dinner together. For a moment, Eli simply stared. Then, he jumped into his father's arms. You really came. I promised I'd make it up to you. That night, for the first time in almost 3 years, father and son ate dinner together. No phones, no assistants, no meetings. Just stories, laughter, and homemade food prepared by Mrs. Han. As they finished dessert, Eli suddenly grinned. So, Seo-Hyun narrowed his eyes. I know that smile. What? You're about to ask me something. Eli nodded innocently. Maybe? What is it? Can Miss Zuri come for dinner one day? Seo-Hyun nearly dropped his glass. Eli, I'm just asking. Before Seo-Hyun could answer, his phone buzzed on the table. It was a message from his executive assistant. Urgent. The international investors have arrived a day early. We need tomorrow's presentation immediately. Seo-Hyun frowned. The presentation isn't finished. The marketing department was still revising the final campaign. His assistant replied almost instantly. Ms. Zuri Adeyemi completed it this evening. Everyone says it's exceptional. Seo-Hyun looked at the message twice. Then a third time. Without realizing it, he smiled. Across the table, Eli caught it. His eyes sparkled. He whispered to himself, that's the second time. Maybe, just maybe, the mission wasn't over after all. Because tomorrow morning, Chairman Joon Seo-Hyun would see Zuri again. Not because of his son, not by accident, but because, for the first time in years, he actually wanted to. The next morning, something happened that shocked the entire executive floor. 10 minutes early. His secretary looked at her watch twice. The chairman was never early. He was always exactly on time. Not a minute before, not a minute after. Yet today, he walked straight into the conference room and asked only one question. Has Miss Zuri Adeyemi arrived? The secretary blinked. She should be here any moment, sir. Seo-Hyun simply nodded. I'll wait. Outside the conference room, employees whispered among themselves. Did you hear that? The chairman asked for the new marketing employee. What did she do? No idea. Maybe she's getting promoted. Or fired. Nobody knew. Except one little boy. At the mansion, Eli was getting ready for school. He happily stuffed his lunchbox into his backpack. Mrs. Han smiled. You seem cheerful today. Eli grinned. Dad smiled twice yesterday. Han laughed. I noticed. I think we're making progress. We? Eli covered his mouth. I mean, life. Mrs. Han pretended not to notice. But deep inside, she was praying that little boy's impossible dream might actually come true. Back at the company, the conference room doors opened. Zuri stepped inside, carrying a laptop and several presentation boards. She looked confident, but inside, her heart was racing. Seo-Hyun stood as she entered. Good morning, Miss Adeyemi. Good morning, Chairman. Neither of them mentioned Eli. Neither of them mentioned yesterday. Business first. I reviewed your campaign, Seo-Hyun began. It was excellent. Zuri smiled politely. Thank you, sir. You increased the projected customer engagement by 23%. I noticed the previous strategy ignored younger consumers, so I redesigned it. Seo-Hyun nodded. You made a bold decision. I believed it was the right one. And if it failed? She smiled. Then I would have learned something. For the first time, Seo-Hyun looked genuinely impressed. Most employees feared failure. This woman respected growth more than comfort. The meeting lasted nearly 2 hours. International investors loved every idea. When it ended, one of the foreign executives shook Zuri's hand. "Your presentation saved this deal." She smiled. It was a team effort. Seo-Hyun noticed something again. Every time someone praised her, she shared the credit. Only Seo-Hyun and Zuri remained. He closed his laptop. "Miss Adeyemi." "Yes, Chairman. I owe you an apology." She looked confused. "For what?" My son laughed softly. "I've already forgiven him." "I haven't forgiven myself." She studied him for a moment. "You know, he's not embarrassed by you." Seo-Hyun frowned. "I never said he was." "No, but you think you're disappointing him." The chairman didn't answer. She continued gently. "I grew up without my father. My mother worked 3 jobs. She wasn't around much. But whenever she came home, she made me feel like I mattered. It wasn't the amount of time. It was what she did with it." Seo-Hyun listened quietly. "I think," she smiled, "you're closer to becoming the father Eli needs than you realize." Those words stayed with him, long after she walked away. The company cafeteria buzzed with excitement. Employees crowded around a television. Breaking news. A powerful tycoon from overseas had arrived in Seoul. His company wanted to merge with Seo-Hyun's corporation. It would become the biggest business deal of the decade. The investors had only one condition. They wanted to attend a charity gala, hosted by Chairman Seo-Hyun. That same weekend, "There is one more request," the assistant announced. They expect the chairman to attend with a companion. The room fell silent. Seo-Hyun looked up. "A companion?" "Yes, sir. It's considered a sign of stability in their culture." Another executive cleared his throat nervously. "With respect, Chairman, everyone knows you've attended every event alone since your wife's passing." The room became uncomfortably quiet. Seo-Hyun's expression hardened. "We'll decline the condition." Before anyone could reply, the conference room door burst open. Eli ran inside. "Dad!" Mrs. Han chased after him. "I'm sorry, Chairman. He insisted on coming after school." Eli stopped in the middle of the room, then looked around. He suddenly spotted Zuri standing near the back. His face lit up. "Miss Zuri." Every executive slowly turned toward her, then back toward Eli, then toward the chairman. Without realizing the hundreds of eyes watching him, Eli smiled innocently and asked, "Dad, didn't you need someone to go to that party with you?" The room froze. Before Seo-Hyun could stop him, Eli pointed directly at Zuri. "What about her?" You could hear a pin drop. Zuri's eyes widened. The executive stared in stunned silence, and Seo-Hyun, for the first time in his career, had absolutely no idea what to say. The conference room fell into complete silence. Every executive slowly turned to look at Zuri, then at the chairman, then back at Eli. No one dared to speak. Eli looked around confused. "What? Did I say something wrong?" Chairman Joon Seo-Hyun closed his eyes for a brief second. "Yes, Eli, you did." The little boy frowned. "I was only trying to help." One of the older executives suddenly cleared his throat. Actually, everyone looked at him. "It isn't the worst idea." The room instantly became even quieter. Seo-Hyun raised an eyebrow. "What do you mean?" The executive adjusted his glasses. The Whitmore group is very traditional. They believe leaders who value family are more trustworthy. If you attend alone, they may think you're rejecting their customs. Another board member nodded. "And if we lose this partnership, the company could lose billions." Seo-Hyun's expression remained calm. "I will not use one of my employees as part of a business negotiation." Zuri felt a quiet sense of relief. Until she spoke. Everyone turned toward her. "What if it isn't for business?" Seo-Hyun looked at her, surprised. She continued carefully. "I mean, if it's clearly understood that I'm only accompanying you as a guest, and if it helps protect thousands of employees whose jobs depend on this partnership, I don't mind." The room stared at her in disbelief. One executive whispered, "She volunteered?" Seo-Hyun immediately shook his head. "No. I I appreciate your kindness, but I can't ask that of you. You didn't, she smiled. I offered. For a long moment, their eyes met. Neither of them looked away. Finally, Seo-Hyun gave a respectful nod. Then, thank you. Eli quietly pumped his fist under the table. Mission progress. The charity gala was only 3 days away. The entire company was buzzing with rumors. Did you hear? The chairman is bringing a date. No way. I heard she's from marketing. I heard she's a genius. I heard she's already met his son. The stories became wilder every hour. By evening, someone claimed they were secretly engaged. Another insisted they had been dating for months. Poor Zuri couldn't walk through the office without people smiling at her. She sighed. This is getting out of hand. That evening, as she left the building, heavy rain suddenly poured from the sky. Employees rushed toward taxis. Others opened umbrellas. Zuri searched through her handbag. Oh no, she had forgotten hers. She stood beneath the entrance canopy, watching the rain. Looks like I'm waiting. A familiar voice spoke behind her. So am I. Chairman Seo-Hyun stood a few feet away. He had also forgotten his umbrella. Both of them laughed. What are the chances? Zuri asked. Apparently not zero. Before either of them could say another word, a black luxury car pulled up. The driver jumped out holding a large umbrella. Chairman, Seo-Hyun nodded, then looked at Zuri. She hesitated. It's all right. I can call a taxi. In this rain, they'll take forever. Another awkward silence. Finally, if you're comfortable with it, I can have my driver take you home. She looked outside. The rain was only getting heavier. Thank you. I'd appreciate that. The driver opened the back door. Without thinking, Seo-Hyun waited until Zuri got inside before entering himself. It was such a small gesture, but she noticed. Most powerful men expected everyone else to wait for them. He did the opposite. The car pulled away from the company. For the first few minutes, neither of them spoke. The city lights reflected against the rain-covered windows. Finally, Seo-Hyun broke the silence. May I ask you something? Of course. Why did you move to Korea? Zuri smiled faintly. My mother always dreamed of visiting, but she became sick before she had the chance. I'm sorry. After she passed away, I decided to come anyway. I wanted to live the dream she never could. Seo-Hyun looked out the window. I understand that feeling. You do? I still keep my wife's office exactly the way she left it. Neither of them spoke after that. They didn't need to. For the first time, they weren't a chairman and an employee. They were simply two people who understood what it meant to lose someone they loved. No longer felt awkward, it felt peaceful. The car stopped outside Zuri's apartment building. It's smaller than your mansion, she joked. Seo-Hyun smiled. I wasn't comparing. She laughed. I'm kidding. As she reached for the door, she suddenly noticed something. Across the street, a man wearing a black hoodie quickly lowered a camera. Click, a photograph had just been taken. Then another, and another. Before anyone could react, the man disappeared into the rain. Zuri frowned. Was that? Seo-Hyun's expression immediately hardened. A photographer went off. It was his head of security. Chairman, you need to see the internet. Seo-Hyun opened the news on his phone. His face darkened. The headline had already gone viral. The cold billionaire finally falls in love. Mystery woman spotted leaving with Chairman Joon Seo-Hyun. Was a crystal clear photograph of him and Zuri sitting together in the back of his car. Thousands of comments were already pouring in. Neither of them had any idea that one innocent ride home had just turned their private lives into the biggest story in the country. By sunrise, the story was everywhere. Every news website, every entertainment blog, every social media platform. Only one photograph, but thousands of assumptions. The cold billionaire has finally found love. Who is the mystery woman? Is Chairman Joon Seo-Hyun ready to remarry? Inside the company, employees whispered in every hallway. Marketing, finance, Human resources. Even the cafeteria staff had seen the headline. Conversations stopped. Everyone looked at her. Some smiled. Others stared. A few even applauded. Zuri wanted the floor to open beneath her. She hurried to her desk, pretending not to notice. Her best friend and coworker, Naomi, rushed over. Zuri, are you okay? Zuri sighed. I've never been the subject of gossip before. Naomi lowered her voice. Do you like him? Zuri blinked. What? The chairman. I barely know him. Naomi smiled knowingly. That wasn't my question. An announcement echoed through the office. Miss Zuri Adeyemi, please report to the chairman's office. Every head turned toward her. Again. Zuri took a deep breath before knocking. Come in. She entered quietly. Seo-Hyun was standing by the window. He looked as though he hadn't slept all night. I'm sorry, he said immediately. She frowned. You didn't call the reporters. No, but my life brought them to your doorstep. He handed her a folder. These are statements from our legal team. If anyone harasses you, the company will protect you. Zuri looked at him for a long moment. You really thought about this. I had to. She smiled softly. Thank you. There was a pause. Then Seo-Hyun surprised her. If you want to cancel the charity gala, I'll understand. You don't owe me anything. Zuri looked out the window. I've spent my whole life running away from difficult situations. She turned back to him. I don't want to do that anymore. LL. I'll still go. LL. Seo-Hyun searched her face. Are you sure? She nodded. I'm sure. For the first time, he felt something he hadn't experienced in years. Relief. On to the next afternoon. Someone else was watching the news. Eli. He sat on the living room floor with Mrs. Han. His mouth fell open. They're famous, Mrs. Han laughed. They were already famous. No. L. Eli pointed at the television. I mean together. He smiled so widely that his cheeks hurt. They look good. Mrs. Han shook her head. You little matchmaker. Eli grinned. I still have work to do. 2 days later. The night of the charity gala finally arrived. Luxury cars lined the entrance. Reporters crowded behind barriers. Camera flashes lit up the evening sky. Inside a nearby hotel suite, Zuri stood in front of a mirror. She wore an elegant emerald green gown. Her natural curls were styled neatly over one shoulder. She looked breathtaking. But she didn't feel confident. She felt nervous. A soft knock came at the door. It's me, Naomi called. She stepped inside carrying a small jewelry box. My grandmother gave me this necklace. I want you to wear it. Zuri's eyes widened. I can't accept something so precious. You can. Naomi fastened the necklace around her neck. There. Now you look like the woman everyone will remember tonight. Across the city, Sehun adjusted his tuxedo. Eli walked around him in circles. Dad, Eli said. You look handsome. You should smile more. Seo-Hyun chuckled. I'm working on it. Eli suddenly became serious. He reached into his pocket and pulled out something carefully folded. What is that? Seo-Hyun asked. A list. Eli nodded proudly. A list? My rules. Seo-Hyun unfolded the paper. Written in colorful crayons were the words. Rules for Daddy. 1. Don't work during dinner. 2. Smile at least once every day. 3. Listen when people talk. 4. If Miss Zuri gets cold, give her your jacket. 5. Bring her home safely. Seo-Hyun couldn't help it. He laughed. A real laugh. The loudest laugh Eli had heard in years. The little boy's eyes filled with tears. There it is. My favorite sound. Seo-Hyun looked at his son. Then quietly folded the paper and placed it inside his jacket pocket. I'll do my best. Hundreds of reporters suddenly rushed toward a single black limousine. They're here. The chairman has arrived. Camera flashes exploded. The driver opened the rear door. Seo-Hyun stepped out first. Then, he turned, held out his hand, and waited. A graceful hand reached toward his. Zuri accepted it. She stepped out of the limousine with quiet elegance. The crowd gasped. For a few seconds, Even the reporters forgot to ask questions. They simply stared. Standing side by side, they looked less like strangers, and more like two people who somehow belonged in the same picture. Then, just as they started walking toward the entrance, a young voice rang out from the crowd. "Daddy!" Eli ran toward them, his little face glowing with excitement. The black SUV sped toward the hotel entrance. Its tires screeched against the pavement. "Eli!" Seo-Hyun shouted. Without thinking, he sprinted. At the very same moment, Zuri dropped her purse and ran too. Just before the SUV reached the little boy, Seo-Hyun grabbed Eli and pulled him away. The SUV swerved sharply, crashing into a decorative fountain before coming to a stop. Security guards surrounded the vehicle within seconds. The driver wasn't a criminal. He had suffered a medical emergency and lost control of the car. An ambulance arrived almost immediately. Thankfully, no one had been hurt. Seo-Hyun held Eli tightly in his arms. His hands were trembling. For the first time, the billionaire chairman wasn't thinking about business, or the gala, or the cameras. He was simply a frightened father. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "So sorry." Eli looked up. "But I'm okay. I know. I should have protected you better." Eli smiled. "You did. And Miss Zuri helped too." Seo-Hyun turned. Zuri stood a few steps away, breathing heavily. She had run without thinking about her own safety. Only Eli's. In that moment, Seo-Hyun realized something. She hadn't helped because he was wealthy. She hadn't helped because cameras were watching. She helped because that was who she was. The woman Eli had chosen was exactly the woman his late wife would have admired. The charity gala was delayed for 30 minutes. When it finally began, neither Seo-Hyun nor Zuri cared much about the speeches. They spent most of the evening talking, not about business, but about life. Their childhoods, their dreams, their families. Seo-Hyun wasn't forcing a conversation. It simply flowed. As the evening came to an end, he walked Zuri outside. "I owe you another apology," he said. She laughed. "You apologize a lot. I've had a lot to apologize for." She smiled. "I think you've also had a lot to carry." He looked at her quietly. "I'd like to know you better. This time, not because of Eli, not because of work, but because I genuinely enjoy being with you." Zuri felt her heart skip. She smiled. "I'd like that too." The weeks that followed. They started slowly. Coffee after work, weekend walks through the park, dinner with Eli, movie nights at the mansion. But secretly baked everyone's favorite desserts. The once silent mansion slowly filled with laughter again. Employees noticed the chairman had changed. He no longer stayed at the office until midnight. He attended Eli's school events. He smiled more. He listened more. He even took weekends off. One afternoon, Eli watched his father helping Zuri prepare dinner. He quietly whispered to Mrs. Han, "I think my mission is almost complete." Mrs. Han smiled. "I think so too." 1 year later, the mansion's garden was decorated with white flowers. Close friends and family gathered beneath the spring sunshine. Seo-Hyun stood at the front, waiting. Eli stood proudly beside him in a tiny tuxedo. "You look nervous," Eli whispered. "I am. You'll be fine." Then the music began. Zuri walked down the garden path in a beautiful ivory gown. When she reached Seo-Hyun, he couldn't take his eyes off her. "You look beautiful," he whispered. "So do you." The officiant smiled. "Before we begin, I hear there's one person who believes this wedding happened because of him." Everyone laughed. Eli raised his hand proudly. "That's me." The guests burst into laughter. The officiant smiled. "Young man, would you like to say a few words?" Eli nodded. He looked at Zuri, then at his father. "When my mom went to heaven, I thought my dad forgot how to smile, so I looked for someone who could remind him." He turned toward Zuri. "I didn't choose you because you're pretty. I chose you because you're kind, when nobody is looking." Tears filled Zuri's eyes. Seo-Hyun gently squeezed her hand. And I was right. The entire garden fell silent. Even the guests wiped away tears. 3 years later, a little girl ran through the same garden, laughing as Eli chased after her. "Slow down," he called. "I'm your big brother." The little girl giggled. "You can't catch me." Seo-Hyun wrapped an arm around Zuri. "Thank you." She looked at him. "For what?" "For giving us a home again." She rested her head on his shoulder. "You and Eli gave me one too." As the sun began to set, Eli looked at the happy family before him and smiled. Mission accomplished. Sometimes, the smallest hearts carry the biggest dreams. And sometimes, all it takes to heal a broken family is one little boy who believed that love deserved a second chance. If this story touched your heart, don't leave without showing some love. Like this video if you believe kindness can heal even the deepest wounds. Comment below, do you think Eli was right to choose Zuri for his dad? We'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoy heartwarming African-Korean love stories filled with family, emotion, and unforgettable endings, be sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next story. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode of Afro-Korean Diaries. Until then, stay kind, stay hopeful, and remember, sometimes the smallest hearts create the biggest miracles.